Okay, here we are on Friday. I just got back from going out to the field and looking for butterfly eggs and caterpillars. So I'm going to talk about what we're going to do in reading on Friday. So we've been looking at Henry and Mudge, the first book. And what we have been looking at is the story sequence and how things happen. And I need to know how much you understand what we've read. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take an AR test. I don't know if any of you have ever done that before, but I think you all are ready. I really do. It's very similar to the STAR test. You go and log in the same way you do with your STAR. And the way to do this is following through what I've got here with Miss Dixon going to show us in a video. So we're going to watch a little video of how to take an AR test. I need to change something with my screen share. Let me stop it for just a second so that you can hear the sound really well. I forgot to do that. Now I've got it fixed. And let's watch Miss Dixon. So listen very carefully so that when you take your AR test, you'll know what you need to do.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Colleen Dixon. I'm the media coordinator, and today I would like to show you how you can take an AR test. And you can take AR tests at home from 6 a.m. until a little after 11 o'clock at night. So you have plenty of access during the day to do that. Also, if for some reason you keep entering your wrong password, just leave it for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, it'll reset and it'll let you enter your password and try again. So today I want to share my screen. So as usual, we do need to be on the Mountain View webpage. We're going to click for students, and we're going to click on Accelerated Reader. When you're here, you're going to click I'm a student. Your username is the first letter of your first name and the first 4 letters of your last name. I need to use my maiden name since I'm already in here as a teacher. So again, the first letter of your first name, the first 4 letters of your last name. Some of you have a number after it, but your teacher will share that information with you. Your password is your lunch number, which is also called your NC EdCloud number. But again, whatever number you punch in at lunch is what your password is. And you're going to click Login. From here, we're going to go ahead and take an accelerated reader test. Once this loads, you'll see you can search for a book by title, author, the quiz number, or sometimes a keyword. If you have a library book, or maybe you found one from Myon, or you found one from Capstone, a lot of times you can actually find the quiz number. If you have that quiz number, it'll take you directly to the test that you need to take. If for some reason you ever accidentally click on the wrong test, go ahead and just take the test, just pick the first answer for every one, and then email me and we can go ahead and take care of that. But don't try to stop the test because then you just get hung up in there. So just finish the test, just click through, pick the first answer, but that'll at least clear your account and let you do whatever else you need to do in AR until I can go ahead and take care of that wrong test. So I'm going to take a quiz on don't eat your classmates. Well, how about can I be your dog? There we go. Can I be your dog? So apparently the other book, I must not. There may not be an AR test. Can I be your dog? You can see here's the quiz number, which if I had had the book in front of me, I could have put that in. This tells me what the level is. So you do want to make sure that it's in your range that you're allowed to take tests on. And so I'm going to click Take Quiz. Now this has a reading quiz. Some of them have vocabulary quizzes, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to start the quiz. And then I actually read this by myself. Start quiz. What had happened the last time the butcher lady let a dog into her shop? A, someone slipped in a puddle of dog drool. B, a dozen meatballs went missing. C, the sausages were full of dog hair. Ew, gross. D, a health officer closed the shop. That wouldn't be good. So those of you that read this with me last year, because this was on our North Carolina awards list, it is a dozen meatballs went missing. So I click next. Arlie asked to be the fire station's dog. He said he sniffed out every fire truck tire at station number 5, the campsite at Honeywell's yellow house. I don't think there was a campfire. Fire hydrant on Butternut Street, and a spotted dog who looked like a fire dog. And there was, remember, a fire dog in the firehouse, but he had actually sniffed out every fire hydrant on Butternut Street. Arlie asked to be the junkyard guy's dog. You remember that part? What did he say he would do? Bark if people tried to steal the guy's stuff. You guys got a kick out of that. Fetch good junk that people threw away. I don't think he talked about fetching in the book. Chase rats away from the guy's house. That might be a good thing, but he didn't talk about rats. Help the guy bury the junk, and he didn't seem to want to bury it, so I think it was he was going to bark. What did Arlie notice about the last house on Butternut Street? The house was full of weeds and the windows were broken. I remember that part. Do you guys remember that part? But let's read the rest of them. It already had a dog and the dog looked happy. There was definitely no dog at that house. The children who lived there liked to play in the mud. I did not see anybody living at that house. A tree had fallen onto the roof. There were lots of broken things, but I remember it being full of weeds. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a tree that had fallen on the roof. But A is what I remember. Last question. The letter carrier asked to be Arfie's person. She needed a friend who, A, would carry her mail bag, B, would be with her no matter what, C, saw the good in everything, D, loved books and afternoon naps. I'm pretty sure it was B, would be with her no matter what. And I really enjoyed that book, and I know that you guys did too. So this is going to tell me that I got all these questions right. If I had missed one, I could click review question and see what it was. And then I'm going to click finish. This is also going to tell me the words that I read, because remember, we all want to strive, if we can, to be a 1,000,000-word reader. And so that tells me where that's at. Now, if I want to go ahead and take another AR test, I had read another book. So if I click Frindle, if you read Frindle as part of a textbook, then you could click on this. If you read the whole Frindle story, you would click here, take quiz. Now notice this one has a reading quiz, a vocabulary quiz, and a literacy skills. Your teacher will tell you if she or he wants you to take a literacy skills test. I just want to take the vocabulary quiz on this one to show you guys, since the last book didn't have a vocabulary quiz. It is really important that you take the vocabulary quiz for every book you read. Learning new words, which is vocabulary, really helps us to be a much better reader. And we want to grow our vocabulary, and we can do that by practicing with these tests. You'll also notice as you're taking vocabulary that it's going to review words from other books that you've read and keep reviewing those. So don't worry when you see other titles come up here. Within a week after the article was published, notice this was underlined kind of like on a star test. The kids at the junior high and high school had stopped using the word pen and started using the word frindle. What does published mean? Changed for the better, explained, put into print, highly praised. I'm going to click put into print. Nick looked up the definitions on his list. What are definitions? Well, all of your teachers, whether it's reading, science, social studies, math, definitions are what a word means. So let me see which one of these. Not test scores, names of people who go to school together. No. Statements that give the words meanings. And I had already said I knew definitions were what the word means. I'm going to click it, but I do want to read the letter option D, regular tasks. I know that's wrong. Nick learned that places go out of business without consumers. Consumers are, if I didn't know what that word is, if I didn't know what it meant, I want to read these choices and make my best choice. Things that are made or produced. Well, if you don't make or produce anything, you are going to go out of business. People who buy things or services, well, if you don't have consumers, they might be kind of the same thing. Presentations that promote the sales of things. Well, that's like commercials. I don't think that's it. Assistants who work in a store, and those are employees. So are they things or people? I want to show you what happens when you miss one. So I'm going to click A. I know that it's B. Consumers are people who buy things or services. Judy Morgan reported for a local newspaper. If something is local, it is belonging to a certain community or area, concerning the process of governing, having been started or set up in the near past, favoring one side of an issue or argument. Local. I think it's belonging to a certain community or area. And I'm going to just click through these for the sake of time, which is not something that you should do, but also you want to have all the answers to these. All right, you can see, even with clicking some, I actually got some right answers. But here, this was that one that I had purposely missed, consumers. See how it doesn't have a check there? This kind of gives some of those grade levels the words come from. Now, I will have consumers, disrespectful, fad, and fund on future vocabulary quizzes because they want to make sure that I figure out what those words are and I learn those. Because I got these words right, I may not see them as often being cycled through on my vocabulary quizzes. Sometimes you'll just have 10, sometimes you may have 15 vocabulary words. Keep reviewing those. I would suggest words that you really like, keep a list of those. And when you have a writing assignment, or even if you have something where you're recording it on Flipgrid, try to use some of these vocabulary words. Instead of an ordinary word, use a word that's a little more challenging. So I hope that's a good reminder on how to take an AR test and how you access that. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to email me. Have a great day.
Okay, so that's how you do taking a test with AR. I'm going to come to AR and I'm going to show you something about your book. She talked about if you knew the test number, you could use it, or you could type in the title. So I'm going to show you both ways. Like so right here, I'm going to type in Henry and Mudge, and it is called The First Book of Adventures. And then I'm going to search it. And so we come down here and we will see it, and we make sure it is Henry and Mudge, The First Book of Adventures, because there are a lot of Henry and Mudge books out there. But you want to make sure you're taking the one on The First Book of Adventures. Now you could do that way. I'm going to go back. Like I said, mine's going to look different than yours. But you could also type in the quiz number, and I'm going to give you that here in a minute. There it is. So let's see what comes up when we do the quiz number. Now, I wanted to do it this way because I want you to see that sometimes more than one choice comes up and you got to be extra careful when that happens. Now you're looking, you're going, oh, here's two. This one looks a lot like it and it's a little bit brighter, so I'm going to go with this one. Well, you need to look at it really carefully because it's got Henry E. Mudge, E. Primo Libro. I can't read the rest of it. This is in Spanish. So this is the Spanish version of it. If you click on that, it's going to ask you questions in Spanish. We don't do that. And you might be able to read Spanish, but I can't read the results from it. So I need you to do it in the English version. So you make sure, so you see EN after the number, that means English. And down here it's the same number, but it's SP stands for Spanish. So we need to make sure we do it up here where it's the English version, okay? So if that one's it, you click right here and it would take you to it, okay? Just and then you like double click it. I'm not going to do it because then you might just click on it. Yours might be different because I'm doing it from the teacher version of it. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. And so you're going to be taking the AR test for Henry and Mudge, the first book of adventures. Okay, so I've got this little thing right here, and you can pause this if you need to. But the book is Henry and Mudge, the first book of adventures, if you wanted to do it by the title. If you want to type in the quiz number, it's 7572. And remember, it's the same login as you did with STAR, which is your first initial and the first 4 letters of your last name. But some of you, remember, you have to put something after it. If there was someone else who had the same first initial and first 4 letters of your last name. Be very careful that you don't do it wrong 3 times in a row, or you get locked out and you have to wait like 15 minutes before you try it again, okay? So, and I will be checking to see who has finished the test. This is part of what you've got to do for your reading this week. It's for me to see how much you understand. So what I suggest before you do take the test is go back. I'm going to share again. I should have put this up earlier. I'm sorry. On Seesaw, where you did this on Thursday, Henry and Mudge, the first book, because you can click on the link to listen to Henry and Mudge. And I'm not going to take that off. I'm going to leave that on there. I'm hoping it will stay on there for you to see. If it does go off when you submit it from where you work on it on Thursday, let me know. And I will send it back to you so you can read it again before I do the final approval. This is something that we're going to test out together that I don't know whether you could still see it and access it. So just let me know if you need to see it again. I can send it back to you. I won't do final approval on this until we've all taken the test on the book. All right, guys? So let me come back and see you all again. So here we are. We have made it through our second week of online learning. And I really think we've done a really good job with this second week because we've not had so much technical difficulties. All right. Okay. See y'all later. Bye.